I've been a very big proponent of this whole Epic World of Action Power the Force line because they've brought back like budget Star Wars action figures that's number one, a good price, number two, decent quality and like decent paint application, most importantly, decent articulation, and also they're putting out some pretty like interesting characters. We have a Dark Trooper and we have SM-33. Full disclaimer, I've not watched Skeleton Crew. I might eventually. I just personally wasn't really interested. But this droid looks cool, and it looks like a cool figure that, you know, might end up in my Jabba's Palace droid dungeon or walking around Tatooine someday. It's just a cool-looking droid. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and get it along with this Dark Trooper because I'm a big Dark Trooper fan. And yeah, we'll just see how these turned out. I guess we'll go ahead and open the Dark Trooper first. Number one, the card looks cool. I really do like the look of the Dark Trooper. I do know that they're going to be making some more Clone Wars era style stuff in this line. I have a Rex on pre-order, and I actually want to get a second Rex to probably keep carded, because I actually do kind of like this card style. It's kind of neat. And you can see it's got a little bio right there. It's very interesting how he has a clear gun, like the entire gun is clear. They didn't paint the rest. That might be something I do later down the road. But yeah, not really much else to say. Let's just rip into it. Let's just go ahead and open it. Did they tie it down at all, or is it just going to be an easy pop out? I think it's just going to be an easy pop out. Come on out, buddy. There we go. Get your hand out. There we go. And the gun. Boom. There we go. That was easy. That was quick. That was good. All right, and here's our little Dark Trooper guy. I'm very curious about how this is going to turn out, because I like the Vintage Collection Dark Trooper, but I've always felt that it's a little wibbly. Like it didn't feel solid or robust, especially at the hips. And don't worry, I have a TVC one to compare. But yeah, this one seems pretty decent. It has some decent little paint applications here and there, like some silver. It doesn't have them on the inside, just the outside. But it's got some silver like around the wrists and the elbows, on the bicep. It's got the red for the visor, which interestingly was just one application, so there's a little bit of like red in the middle where it should be black. Yeah, kind of odd. But still pretty cool looking. Doesn't have any waist articulation. Does have a ball joint at the head. Looks like he has universals at the shoulders. Yeah, very clicky. Very clicky universals at the shoulders. Jeez, almost feels like you're going to break them. And then he's got universal like hinge swivels at the elbows. The hips are on ball joints. Nothing at the thigh. Yeah, it's that standard Epic World of Action articulation, which means he does feel pretty robust. I would say the biggest issue is the shoulders, because there's such a big click with those shoulders. But it's a fun basic Dark Trooper to pose around. Pretty fun, pretty basic. And of course he does come with this glowing Dark Trooper rifle, which looks cool with the effect. I will probably paint this black at some point and like give this to, I mean, I might keep it with this figure. This is one that I think is perfectly serviceable to like add to my collection. One of the most important details though, how does it scale and how does it compare with that Vintage Collection one? And well, here is a Vintage Collection one. And we can see my complaint with the wibbliness. Like, I'm not moving the joint. That is just, like, the softness of, like, the peg. Like, moving. Like, it's just wibbling. It's not actually hinging or moving on that ball joint. It's kind of scary. I do still like this Dark Trooper, though. It is still nice. Definitely has better paint application. You can see it actually has silver in all of the right spots. But you can see the Dark Trooper doesn't need much paint. It definitely doesn't. This one actually also added the red on the torso. But here, standing them side by side, we can see they're about the same height. The Epic World of Action one is ever so slightly taller. Like, ever so slightly. But, like, having them in a display together, you are not going to notice. You are not. So, ultimately, if you want to build up a big old Dark Trooper army, I would probably go ahead and pick some of these up. Me personally, I think my local Target had some of these. I literally just went today before I opened this, and I didn't buy them. I might pick up at least a couple more of these Epic World of Action Dark Troopers. I think they did a pretty good job on it. One thing I'm curious about, too, they might actually be good substitutes if you just want to display them in the charging station. Like, if you don't want your TVC ones in that deluxe charging station, if you want to figure it's a little cheaper, you know, just to like have on display. And yeah, seems like it'll fit in there. No real issue. I can tell it's a little bigger. It's a little tighter. But it'll still fit in the charging station. Like, it still looks good. Still looks neat. That's definitely an option with these. The only thing I would suggest would be to grab a little bit of black paint, paint up this gun, and then take the tiniest bit of black paint in between those eyes. That's pretty much all I suggest with this guy. Other than that, like, dude, it's so nice to have budget Star Wars figures again that are actually good, that are actual, like, contributions to your collection. This is great. I thought about getting the Vader and Yoda. I just didn't need those. These ones actually benefit my collection, but those really don't. All right, with the Dark Trooper done, let's take a look at SM-33. Again, the package looks pretty cool. I like the art of the droid. There's the bio. It says that his name is just 33. Is the decrepit first mate of the ship found aboard on, or buried on At-Atin. Yeah, I have not watched Skeleton Crew. Let me know if it's any good. I've heard mixed opinions on it. Let me know what you thought. But yeah, this droid looks really interesting. Very interesting design. It does seem like it retains like the extendy limb feature that the Black Series one has. I don't know if the legs extend, but it seems like the arms at least do. He also has these big old shields that like protrude from the arms. Very interesting. Let's get it open. It's a very odd choice of figure, especially since like they released this before a TVC version. But hey, it's still cool that, you know, this is a thing. Oh, he's got a peg leg. That's funny. Whoop! There goes one of those shields that literally just launched at my shoulder. Come on. There we go. Let me find that other shield. All right, with that package open, let's take a look at this droid right here. And yeah, he's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. It seems like his articulation's a little bit more limited than the Dark Trooper. He doesn't have any hinge at the shoulder at all. It's just a swivel. He does have a really nice ball joint at the head, though. That's cool. Definitely like that. And again, his head design's really cool, too. Like, he has, like, this skeletal look. Very pirate-like. He does have the extendy arms. Go ahead and just yank them out. There we go. That's very odd. Very odd how his arms just extend like that. But it can do that if you want. That is a feature. That is a function. The hips also just seem to be swivels. Oh, do the knees not even bend? Oh, no. Guys, they went back on this one. No. Ah, geez, that's a letdown. Yeah, the knees don't hinge. They sculpted it. They sculpted it like it's a hinge, but no, you can see I put so much force I knocked the Dark Trooper over. Yeah, that's pathetic. Why don't the knees bend? That's stupid. That's really stupid. So yeah, this guy is definitely not as good as all the rest of these Epic World of Action figures, articulation-wise. I mean, he still looks cool. He still looks the part, but definitely let down by this one. I expected something a little bit better, but he'll still look cool as like a droid in my display somewhere. You know, it's nothing too crazy. But I don't know, I just at least expected knee joints. But you can see like things that were like universals or ball joints are just swivels now. No knees. Yeah, kind of a letdown. He's cool though. You can see he's actually really big too. Like he's huge. And like the Dark Troopers are already a little on the bigger side. He is a huge droid. And again, the detail's nice, at least. You know, it looks cool, looks the part. But I'm let down by, it's mostly the knees, dude. Like, it's literally sculpted in there. Like, he has the hinges. It's a part of the design. Why didn't you just put it in? That's so lame, man. As someone who's been a big proponent of the Epic World of Action line, it's cool to see the good figures continue with this Dark Trooper, but it's really disappointing to see some odd cutbacks, like with 33. Why no knees? I understand he's a little bit bigger, he's got a little bit more feature going on, but why no knees? It's literally in the design, like it's right there. Whatever. Anyways, I can recommend the Dark Trooper for sure. Like, even if you collect vintage collection, I think he scales in well enough. Like, you could just, on the cheap, get tons of these Epic World of Action Dark Troopers and bulk out your Dark Trooper collection. I think it is a very viable option. But the 33 figure, like, I'm sure they'll do a TVC one at some point. I would say if you're just worried about having one figure of him, just wait for a vintage collection. I'm sure they'll make it a $25 deluxe. Yeah, I think the Black Series one's deluxe. It's so stupid. I have not bought the deluxe IG-12 yet because my Walmarts have full pegs. They are not moving. I'm not spending $25. I could have waited. I could have waited for Cobb Vanth and gotten him for like 50% off or cheaper. I'm going to wait on IG-12. I'm going to wait. I'm going to get it, but I'm going to wait. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about these down in the comments below. I like the Dark Trooper. 33 left me a little disappointed. He'll just go into one of my little tubs of Star Wars figures for a while until I find a use for him. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.